Very good afternoon, everyone present here. I am Harshita Khare, the moderator for National Mediation Competition 2020, organized by Law Internships in association with All India Law Student Federation. It's a pleasure to welcome you all for the competition. Today we have amongst us Mr. V. in Vivijan Sir. He's an advocate and an international arbitrator and mediator. Sir is also a managing partner at Covey Global LLP, Global Examination Board member, Chartered Institute of Arbitration UK Vice Chairman, Society of Construction Law Chairperson, SICCI Arbitration Committee Advisor and Course Director, Bangladesh International Mediation Society, and a technical assistant and advisor for various ADR institutions worldwide. So far, Sir has presided as a sole arbitrator and represented as counsel in over 350 domestic cases, several thousands of small claims commercial financial arbitration, and 14 international arbitrations. His area of practice includes international commercial arbitration, maritime arbitration, international trade and contracts, IPR, construction disputes, finance and banking disputes, securities market, JV. I'm sorry, JVs, LCs, ADR, sale of goods, domain, name dispute, investment disputes. Sir has also been listed in 2008 edition of International Who's Who of Commercial Arbitration. It's a pleasure to have you amongst us, sir. We welcome you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Arshita. And welcome for the teams. I could see many counsels, clients, as well as mediators. The teams, respective team, party A comprises T20, no? The client, the code is
Yes.
T20? Fine.
Yes.
And party B obviously is T33.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yes. Other instructions, I think, Harshita, it's been given to the team.
Yes, sir. The instructions have been provided. Also, just keep an eye on the chat box for your timings.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
You can begin with the
Yeah.
session now.
Should I start? Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is audible and visible to everyone. We hope everyone here on this table is safe and healthy and dealing just fine in these trying times. Ms. M33 and I, Mr. Henry Ford, are here as your mediators for the day as appointed by the Global Security Council. Before we begin, we'd like to ask how the parties would like to be addressed.
I would like to be addressed as President Harrison.
I
I would like to be addressed as counsel for Party B.
I would like to be addressed as counsel for Party A.
I would like to be addressed as the representative of Fredonia.
Thank you so much. Firstly, on the onset, I'd like to extend my heartiest appreciation to both the parties for agreeing to this alternative mechanism of mediation in an online format and understanding the importance and urgency of conflict resolution in these distressing and turbulent times. The fact that all of you are here on this virtual table shows your willingness and drive to find a common resolution. We hope that this session turns out to be a productive one and the parties reach a consensus that is mutually beneficial for both of their respective countries. Before beginning, since this is an online session, I'd request the parties to kindly switch off their mics when they're not speaking, cross-check their internet connection, and to stay patient and understand our limitations in case of any technical difficulty. I'd also like to mention that this is an 80-minute session. Before proceeding, I'd also like to confirm from the legal counsels of both the parties if they have reverted us back with the duly signed confidentiality statements and mediation agreement that was emailed to them.
Yes, we have.
Yes.
A quick follow-up, do we have the authority at the table should you move towards any resolution to make any agreements on behalf of the countries that you both represent?
My
Yes,
client
we
has full authority.
I believe that this process of mediation might be new to the parties, and hence before beginning the session, my co-mediator and I would like to acquaint you with the process of mediation. It is an opportunity for the two of you to work through your differences by talking about it with the help of a neutral third-party mediator. It is a flexible, confidential, and voluntary process for both the parties to move towards an outcome that serves both of their interests. Our role as a mediator would be here to facilitate a conversation between you two about the matters and issues that divide you. We do not tell you what to do, nor do we judge who is right or wrong, or give you any advice, suggestions, or solutions. What comes out of this mediation today is up to you. If you do reach an agreement, it is for you to decide what that agreement looks like. While I understand that both the parties here are independent sovereign states and have their diplomatic concerns, we also assure you utmost confidentiality. Now I'll pass the time to my co-mediator to explain to you some key elements of mediation. Thank you.
Thank you, mediator, for introducing and giving such a brilliant outline of the way mediation works. As she said, we'll be playing the role of mediators, and that role is just to guide you through the process and to facilitate this conversation. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're not here to enforce any rules. All we're here to do is to make sure that this conversation goes as smoothly as possible and to help you get to the core of the issues and probably find resolutions to them. In doing so, there's a couple of key elements that we need to encourage. Firstly, the role of parties is you're here voluntarily, and that means your role involves being open and being willing to look past the past and focus on the future. There's a few elements of mediation that will help you do so. First of them being, mediation is confidential. So mediation provides you with the safe container in which we have conversations about the things that divide us and perhaps work out resolutions to those. So let me assure you that anything you say in this room is going to be kept in this room and nothing is going to be used against you. That's why you should feel comfortable to talk free about issues that are worrying you and how we can solve them. Mediation is a confidential process not only in terms of around the table, but also in terms of our private meetings. So in the caucus, you'll have another layer of confidentiality where anything you tell us won't be shared with the other party unless you expressly ask us to do so. And you have that right because mediation is a flexible process. The other important thing to remember is we are impartial. We don't want to see either party win or lose. We just want you to come to an agreement that you're both really happy with. Now, everything said here is without prejudice. What this means is you can put ideas on the table, you can throw things around in a way that you can work together, remembering we have no agreement until we agree on everything. So please feel free to use the time and process to explore any idea that you have in terms of settling what's between you, and be sure that they can't bind you in future because this is a non-binding process. There's just one last thing which I'd like to add, which is a quick ground rule. I request both the parties to respect each other. If that's about it, perhaps Team A can begin with their opening statement.
Thank you so much, learned mediators. Good afternoon. At the outset, I would like to commend the representatives of Freedonia, President Klemler, and legal counsel and the learned mediators for joining this online mediation session. It comforts us that Freedonia is equally committed to restoring its relation with us even during these trying times. Today, we are not just talking about the interests of two separate nations, but as one entity that is home to a million number of people across the shared border and in search of a better future. With that spirit in mind, let's realize that while the history remains marked by ups and downs, this pandemic has brought with it a fair share of challenges for both of us, and only our bilateral cooperation can assist us. With this in mind, let's also recognize that any decisions we make today touch too many aspects of daily life in both countries to be left solely in the hands of one of us. As a president of Atlantis, I am committed to continuing the peaceful coexistence we've experienced over the years through your productive workforce and our joint expertise. While I seek to protect the interests of the citizens that have elected me, I would also like to highlight that I am not here to engage in a blame game. Thus, what I intend to do today is engage in an open, honest dialogue and find solutions to our shared challenges and goals. While I understand that the issues of border pay and immigration concern you just as much as they do to us, let's talk from the perspective of a joint representation in the future that we must reflect at a global stage. Therefore, while I'm open to hearing from you with a complete heart to collaborate, I urge you to be receptive and accommodative to our concerns as well. In a nutshell, I come here because I want to step into your shoes so that I may better understand where you're coming from. I recently saw a famous media house referring to us by saying,
Atlantis and Fredonia are like scrambled eggs. You can no longer separate the white and the yolk. And therefore, I could not find anything more better to describe us. Over to you, Ms. Council.
Thank you very much, Scott. I believe before I begin, let me just tell you that it was an accurate indication of the great relation that we've shared with Fredonia throughout the years. My name is Parina, and I am the counsel for the state of Atlantis. We're extremely happy to be here at this mediation session today, and we hope that we can mutually ensure that we engage in honest dialogue, like my client said, to come up with things that jointly benefit us and also address all the issues that jointly concern us. My role here today is solely in an advisory capacity to protect my client and my country's interests. I will only be dealing with issues that concern any domestic or international law implications of any proposals that are floated on the table today. I'll also be looking into any calculations, valuations, or the creation, diminution, or devolution of any rights and liabilities that may arise. I have advised Scott to talk to you entirely about diplomatic as well as security concerns to ensure that there's no deviation from the agenda that has been agreed on. Today, we would briefly like to discuss with you creation of the wall and the Bay of Marmara, and we hope that we have an extremely productive dialogue with you where we can reach a settlement that benefits the both of us. Over to you, Madam Mediators, and the other side.
Thank you so much for that very clear opening statement. I'd now request Party B to give their opening statements and share their perspective with respect to the dispute today.
Thank you so much for that, Madam Mediator. Good afternoon. Firstly, I would like to thank you for agreeing to resolve our conflicts amicably by coming to this mediation today. I am the representative of Fredonia, and I look forward to a fruitful session here. To begin with, I would like to emphasize on the importance of restoring the cordial relations that Fredonia and Atlantis shared previously. We thoroughly believe that maintenance of peace in border areas is an important prerequisite for further development of our relations. I want to draw your attention to the deplorable state of Fredonia's economy owing to the various socio-economic problems our country is facing, which has resulted in a civil strife. We acknowledge the refugee crisis that Atlantis is facing due to the ongoing civil strife in our country. Now that I have highlighted the issues Fredonia is facing, I would like to help you gauge the monumental importance financial aid has for a country like ours. Lastly, I look forward to a session where both parties understand each other's problems in order for us to reach a solution that is mutually agreeable. Over to my counsel. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm the counsel on behalf of the representative of Fredonia. Today, my client and I are here because things haven't worked out the way both parties had anticipated. We're here to work out a solution that's amenable to both the parties. Towards the end of this mediation session, we hope to reach a resolution amicably, ensure that such disputes do not arise in the future, and work on improving our future international relations. Further, I'd like to add that I'm here only in an advisory capacity and would be dealing with the legal and technical aspects of this session. Further, my client has full authority to settle during the course of this session and has the final authority to take any decisions. Based on what has already been stated, I would now proceed to highlight the issues that we would like to take up for discussion. The first one being mending the severed ties between Atlantis and Fredonia. It is a well-established fact that in the past, the two have shared a very fruitful and symbiotic relationship which have mutually benefited both the parties. However, owing to the refugee crisis, border skirmishes, and the Bay of Marmara crisis, there have been growing hostilities and tensions, which we would like to address and fix. Second would be providing financial support to help resolve the civil strife which is going on in Fredonia. And I would like to bring to your notice the fact that we have a population of about 300 million people to feed, and we have certain socio-economic problems such as unemployment, poverty, lack of law and order, and so on. So at this juncture, we would like for you to understand how difficult it is for our country in the midst of a civil strife to even think about spending on something like building a wall. Whereas we could consider that later, right now what we're looking for is financial aid to help resolve our economic crisis. Thank you.
So if I may just echo from what I heard from both the parties, the basic issues pertaining to both the parties are, from party A, creation of wall on the border of Atlantis and Fredonia. Secondly, they want to have a discussion about Bay of Marmara. from what I hear from client and counsel of Party B, they want to mend the ties between both the countries. They also would like to Atlantis to provide financial support to help the civil strife which is ongoing in their country. Is there anything you would like to add, co-mediator?
I think that's very much it. From what I'm seeing, I believe both the parties are really interested in to find a way to make this relationship work and make an excellent collaborative agreement that lasts for a long time.
Just to be clear, could you help us in fixing the agenda by listing the points down specifically?
That's what I was about to come to counsel for Party B. I'd be jotting down the agendas in the chat box. Please have a look at that. And if you want me or my co-mediator to change anything, please feel free to ask from us.
Miss Mediator, if here I may intervene, what I'm hearing from the party of the other side is that they are willing to mend the severe ties, and that in the light that we've always been involved in a very fruitful and symbiotic relationship. What I believe that this ties that have been severed has been because of the illegal immigration that we've been facing, and immediately because while we want to also be collaborative, I think it's important for me as a representative for the country of Atlantis to talk about the issues of the wall, and I believe that that is going to also, with respect to the clarifications, help us a lot on account of how we can solve it. Since they mentioned that building the wall is something that they're willing to negotiate and talk about, I believe that in the larger schema of things, this is something that will help us mend the severe ties that we have right now. If that is completely okay with the parties for the other side, I think I'll be open to hearing from you.
Thank you so much for saying that, Madam President. But I would like to emphasize on the fact that our economy is really not doing well in such a situation. Therefore, although we said that we are open to discussing the wall, there is very little we can do when it comes to contributing by ways of monetary compensation. Also, I request both parties to not pin blame here. And as I've already mentioned, I do acknowledge the refugee crisis that Atlantis is facing. Therefore, let's look at possible solutions that we can come up with.
To add on to what has been stated,
okay, please.
While we stated that we would consider building a wall, we would also like to know from the other party if they're open to compensation in ways other than monetary compensation. And we do have certain alternatives which we could bring to the table. So we expect and hope that they're receptive. Thank you.
Counsel, thank you very much for sharing your concern. Could you please tell me a little bit more about what the nature of this compensation is? Is it similar to the financial aid that you mentioned in your opening statement earlier?
To answer that, we believe that the financial aid that we're seeking and the compensation that we're talking about are two completely different things. And the compensation we're talking about has several facets to it, which we could discuss once the agendas are set, if that is okay with everyone.
Counsel, I completely understand. However, just for the sake of clarity, just to ensure that my client and I haven't already envisaged it elsewhere, I would just like to know what the nature of this compensation is and how it's different from the financial aid before we progress. Just a quick clarification, if you may, please.
Right. So we could probably help in contributing to the majority of the labor force which would be involved in building the wall, instead of contributing to the fund in monetary terms.
Thank you, Counsel, for that quick clarification. Madam Mediator, if you could just give me one moment before I conclude. I think that's something, since it relates extremely closely to the wall, the labor that you talk about is going to be working with the wall. Is it something that you'd be open to discussing under the larger facet of the wall itself, so that, we can move quickly to ensure that, we are in principle agreeing to things as much as possible? Is that something you'd be amenable to, Counsel?
To speak for my client, I think we would be perfectly okay with that and would be happily going forward with that.
I'd also like to mention that this agenda is just for the benefit of the parties and is merely a flexible table of topics that we can potentially discuss over the course. But of course, if any party wishes to add anything else, feel free to let us know. We're only here to make this conversation as fluid as possible. the
Miss
agenda.
Mediator, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Miss Mediator, please continue. I'm so sorry
Uh,
to cut you off.
We just wanted to bring your kind notice to the chat box where the agenda is set. Thank you. If the agenda is fine with both the parties, we can move with a joint conference.
Right, Miss Mediator, if here I may pitch in and start as to what my primary concern with this is, and I would like to commend the council and the client for the other party for so succinctly mentioning that what they are trying to do is not to pin the blame, but look towards a very collaborative future and talk about the future and of a long-term relationship. So what I'm hearing from them is that they want to mend the severe ties that have occurred and want to provide a fixation to the Bay of Maramara crisis. I am completely in appreciation of what they aim to do with the first agenda that they've set forth. And I believe that I would want to know a little more from them as to how they seek to remedy. Because what I believe is that the Bay of Maramara has been strategically very important and economically very important to the relations of both the countries. And while I am also not trying to pin the blame here, I'm just trying to seek a clarification so that we can move forward towards a more collaborative solution.
Party B, would you like to respond to the query?
Right. So to speak for my client, the reason behind the threat of blocking the Bay of Marmara, which is so strategically and economically important to both our countries, was the broken ties which have already been mentioned. And if we were to look past the past, then going forward in the future, what client would very generously be willing to do is immediately withdraw the threat and open the Bay of Marmara to party A, so that they can resume their operations and it would not affect their trade in any manner. Therefore, they could go ahead and prosper economically, and at a later stage even support us financially if that's possible. So if party A is okay with this form of non-monetary compensation in addition to the labor force proposal that we made, we would be really appreciative of it.
So I think, Council, right now we've reached a first solution and first agreement. While I'm very happy that you've put forth the proposal, I would like to know more from the client of the other party. Client, is that something that was something that you were willing to propose? Because I believe that the proposal is something that I'm finding extremely commendable at this point.
I have to say that we were willing to take back the threat, as my counsel has already mentioned. Since I have already drawn your attention to the deplorable state of our country's economy, there is not much we can do in terms of monetary contribution to the fund, which is why we are ready to take back the threat and let you continue with your trade and export-import business as a way of contributing to the building of the wall.
Thank you very much for your clarification, client. I believe that we've reached our first in-principle agreement. We're completely amenable to your proposal with respect to opening the Bay of Maramara, and we completely empathize with the state that you're going through right now. With respect to your condition and need for money that has been highlighted by your client and the council in terms of labor, my client has certain ideas that she'd be putting forth through what she'd envisage with respect to creation of the wall. So if you could please take it forward, Scott, you'd be in a better position to highlight how we aim to cut these costs and give them benefits through the creation of the wall.
Thank you so much, Council. I believe, Council, at this point, why don't we, for the sake of everybody present in the room, let the mediators take it up from here and conclude as to our first agreement, and then we can take it forward for the next issue, that is with respect to creation of the wall. Miss Mediators, is that completely okay with you?
We're perfectly fine with it. We were about to come to that, honestly. So to sum up from what I'm hearing, council and client for party B are extremely fine with withdrawing the threats at the Bay of Marmara, and they are fine with you continuing with your operations of trade. But I think this is a contingent option as to when they would be contributing in a way for creation of wall, if I am echoing correct from what I'm hearing. And I
Yes, Madam Mediator.
already have a discussion about Bay of Marmara, so we might move on to the discussion on creation of wall as to how both the parties would like to proceed with it.
If I may ask Party A, what exactly do they have in mind so that we could in some way, if not monetarily, compensate and contribute to the fund that is so essential in building the wall, which is imperative for you?
Right. So, Miss Council, what I'm hearing right now is that now that we've come to the issue of the wall, I'm just giving a brief summary. I just want to ensure you that I'm not trying here to pin a blame onto you or onto anybody for the sake of the room. But what has been happening in the past is that, there has been a lot of illegal immigration. While we are completely happy with the legal immigrants that come in our country and productively contribute to the growth of our economy, because that is how we as a developed nation function and move forward, and we understand the kind of contribution that you provide to us with respect to it. What I believe that because of the immigration that has been happening in the country, a lot of our funds are being directed towards defense and security spending. While I understand that that is something that, in light of us being a developed country, also is financially something that is very, very difficult and heavy for us. I understand that you're going through a crisis, but I think that is something that has been happening. And with respect to, the state that you are in, while I understand that the civil strife is something that is, not very a good situation going on at the time, I also know that you as a country are a country full of rich resources and minerals. And I want you to realize that this is something that we especially hold you in very, very high regard for. So with respect to that, while I understand that the labor you provide to us is very, very, very beneficial, I think if my council has something to add with respect to that in terms of the mathematics that we did, Miss Council, I'm sorry, would you please take it from here?
Definitely. So let me just tell you what my client told me would be a great way for us to, cut costs as well as create labor employment opportunities at the same time for Fredonia. So with respect to creation of the wall, what we thought is, considering that Fredonia is Fredonia is extremely good with respect to a large number of minerals as well as cheap labor, and Atlantis has great technological strength as well as a ready base of entrepreneurs waiting to invest in a large number of other economies. Why not we pool these things together in the creation of the wall? So what we were hoping to do is, so I just worked out the mathematics a little bit, Council, just to give you a brief heads up of what I'm planning. From my understanding, almost half of our costs will be material costs. Around 40% of our costs would be something around labor costs. Roughly, these are very, very rough figures. And around 10 to 20% would be technology costs. Now, since you have an extremely rich mineral base, we were hoping that, you could provide us minerals. So we would not be asking you for any money, any monetary value. So we would not be, taking any sort of financial benefits from you in any way. And what we'd be offering in turn is labor as well as technology. So Council, if you have any preliminary questions, if not, I could just move on to explaining you briefly what the breakup looks like.
Right. Thank you so much, Council, for highlighting the manner in which we could compensate. However, I'm a bit unclear about the statements that you just made. You mentioned that 50% would be material costs, which you would like to recover from the state of Fredonia, and labor and tech are something that you would provide. Whereas we believe that cheap labor is something that our country can provide to you, and it would really help in cutting costs. So what I'm trying to understand over here is that why is labor something that your country is willing to provide when we are more than okay with going ahead with that instead of the materials that you just mentioned?
Okay, all right, Council, thank you very much for the clarification, and it's great to hear that you are extremely forthcoming and accepting about our proposal. I think I'm actually in agreement with you, and apologies in case if I came off wrong the first time, but okay, all right, we're definitely willing. So why not we do one thing? If we could consider you to, the 50% material cost, if you could not pay it in cash, but you could extract materials, what we can do on the other hand is you can take up the majority, so say around 30% of the labor cost, and the technology cost is something that we can bear. I'll just hand it over to my client at this stage. I think she might have something to add to tell you why she thinks that this might work out.
So what I believe that the discussion has been going around is that what I'm hearing from you is that you are completely willing to bear the labor cost. And while I understand where you're coming from, what we are proposing to do is that, we are proposing to invest in like your country, and with respect to the technology that we are providing, and with respect to the amount or the cost that we're discussing here, and the percentage of it is that we want to invest up to an amount of 10%. However, I think that material is something that is of key concern to you. So is there a breakup as to what you would want to provide to me? Because why I say this is because we were also planning that since we are a developed country, and you are a country which is so rich in minerals, like I've previously mentioned, we can pool in our resources together so that we pose a very strong united front in the international fora, and then invest in terms of industries in FDI. So I think that materials is something that we would be willing to negotiate about, contingent on the fact that we are also willing to establish the industries. So if you would provide me with a brief of as to how you would want to divide the material costs, if at all, and the reasons as to why you provide me that breakup, I think my council can then take it forward from there.
If I may just interject, can both the council please post these breakups in the chat box so that both the parties have some clarity and cohesiveness? Thank you.
Right. So from what I'm understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, what Atlantis is proposing is that instead of compensating them in terms of money, we could provide them with our rich minerals and resources that we're known for, and that comes up to around 50% as per their estimates, and labor is also something we could go ahead with. But to speak for my client, I think it would be a huge burden to place upon our economy, because those minerals and resources do contribute to our economy as well, which is in really dire states right now. And out of this entire breakup, it seems as if majority of the cost is being borne by us, whereas technology is something that you are providing since you have an expertise in it, and we really appreciate that. However, we believe that at this point, majority of the cost could not be borne by us, even if it is non-monetary in nature, because our economic crisis is something that needs to be resolved immediately, and spending our funds in a wall that is going to take years to build is not something that is really going to be fruitful to us at this point. And we do not know if the ends would justify the means of doing so. So when we earlier stated that we are okay with considering building a wall and we would take into account your suggestions, we believe that right now what is on the table is a bit too unfair to our country, and we would like you to negotiate the costs a little bit or more than that, because we believe that if not equal, at least if not most of it, at least we should have an equal contribution or close to equal contribution in the same. And that is how we can maintain our international relations. If you have anything else to add, then you could go ahead, please.
Adding to what my counsel stated, I would like to highlight the importance of the wall for your country. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this wall is more important to your country than it is to ours. And as my counsel has already stated multiple times, it seems as though we're bearing most of the costs that have come up. Also, I figured that your council said that 40% of the costs out of the total 100% are the labor costs, if I'm not wrong. Yes. So I would suggest that we provide 100% of the labor, which means we are taking care of the 40% of the labor cost. Now, I think this 40-60 contribution is something that we will agree, or maybe, we are open to discussing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that clarification. We're open to hearing any other office, since your counsel also mentioned that she has certain considerations as well. One thing that I would just like to hear from you, we completely agree with you, and we're actually thankful that you're willing to bear labor costs. However, we would like to know, with respect to the minerals, considering how rich your state is in minerals, is there a particular reason why correct me if I'm wrong, you seem a little apprehensive with respect to bearing, say, a majority cost in the minerals? Just help me and my client a little bit out here so we can probably look at better numbers.
Right. Thank you so much for asking that question. So all my client is trying to say is that right now, considering the state of our economy, it is very forthcoming on our part to even agree to say a 40-60 distribution, because our primary concern right now is to revive our economy in the first place and to end this crisis which has been ongoing. And the wall is not some primary concern right now. However, we're still willing to bear a lot of costs. So what we're trying to say over here is that since you're a developed nation and this is something which is affecting you more, we believe that it would only be fair if Atlantis bears at least 60% of the costs and we bear the remaining 40, so that our economy does not get affected just as much. And I hope that answers your questions regarding the minerals as well.
Thank you, Council. That was extremely helpful. Let me just clarify, since you mentioned that you would like us to bear 60% and you to bear 40%. We don't see it that way. We see it as us together bearing 100% of the cost of a project that will end up paying long-term, both of us beneficially. So I understand your apprehensions and where you come from. But the only thing, so when I was working out the calculations, what we believe is that since you have a particular advantage with respect to minerals, why not contribute a little. You can probably reduce the amount of labor that you're contributing and provide a little bit of minerals. Now let me tell you why, because I think my client already explained you from the start, that we would be willing to open industries in your country to extract these minerals. So we would not only be bringing in technology for the wall, but additional technology to aid, your mineral exploration process. And we believe that that's something that might also help you in the long run to kickstart your economy. Because correct me if I'm wrong, my client, but from the conversations that she and I have had, it does not feel like we feel the need to withdraw those industries anytime soon, because we want to continue with you on a long term. And that is one of the major reasons why we were hoping that you would be amenable to contributing some amount of raw material in addition to the labor, if that's something you're willing to discuss. And before that, if my client has anything to add at this stage.
Right. So thank you so much, Ms. Parina, for handing it over to me. So what I'm hearing is that, we are open to negotiations with respect to the material cost and the labor cost, as my counsel has so correctly mentioned. So what I want to tell you is that while I understand that this wall is something that is of importance to us, however, the question of immigration is something that affects the both of us. And why I say this, and I want you to please note it down or be receptive to it as well, is because the immigrants that are coming to our countries as a result of the civil strife that you are facing. So what we believe will be important is that we can create employment opportunities in your country, and we can invest in the tech and the any other things that you may want us to do, so that we can move forward together. While I also heard from you is that you said that these minerals are something which is of primary value to you, and we understand that. So since you are a country with a lot of repository of minerals, we think that the 50% is the amount that is a half amount of equal partnership that we want to, because of the trust and the ultimate amount of the benefit that we see that we can derive from this shared partnership. Is that something that you would be willing to do?
Right. Thank you so much for clarifying that and introducing such creative options and placing them on the table. We really appreciate all your concerns and would be more than willing to address them. So basically, while we understand that you are interested in investing in technology owing to your expertise in this field, again, I would like to highlight the fact that it is an unfair burden to place on our economy right now for us to, bear these costs, because while we understand that investing in technology is going to help our economy prosper, at this stage, we are we take pride in the fact that we own such rich minerals and resources, and they do generate employment for citizens of our nations. So what we are proposing is that since the refugee crisis is something you have to deal with at this stage, what we could do is, have a greater share in the labor force that could be employed in building the walls, so that you could generate employment for the refugees which are already there in your nation, who have like migrated from Fredonia, and that could solve the refugee crisis as well. And just to add to that, we would like to know your stance on this crisis and how you plan to treat our refugees, because that is something that would determine our future relations, because we really want our citizens' best interests at heart. And while we acknowledge that they have illegally entered your country, we would like to know if you are following the policy of non-refoulement of international customary law. Thank you.
Just
Thank
adding
you,
to what
Council. Madam Mediator, at this stage, if I could just request you to please, we would like to talk. There's something that we believe we would like to discuss with you in
Sure.
person. Would it be possible for you to call a private caucus for us?
Definitely.
And Council, I'll definitely get back to your question. We do follow the principle of non-refoulement, and we have not engaged in any ill treatment or any sort of discrimination against your refugees. Be rest assured they're treated just as much as our citizens.
So
Thank you so much for the clarification.
just to expedite the
just
process.
I would just like
Please go ahead, client for party B.
Yes. So what I wanted to know was the exact breakup. Now I know I'm going around in circles a little bit, but the 50%, which is the raw material, the party A is proposing that has to be borne by us. We are also they also want us to bear a couple of a small percentage, or I don't know, a certain amount of labor costs. Can you help me gauge how much exactly it is that you are expecting from us? I completely acknowledge and understand that this is a partnership and we are looking at 100%, as both parties jointly. But I do want better clarification as to if all 50% of the raw material costs we have to bear, and then how much of the labor costs you expect us to bear. Because as my council has stated, I think we're going a little bit overboard with what we are bringing to the table in this agreement.
I'm really sorry to interfere, but I think just to expedite the process and check with the parties individually as to what their interests are, I think this is a good time to call a caucus. We're just moving up and down on the agenda and throwing ideas here and there. So just request party B to wait in the waiting room for a couple of minutes so that we can hear to party A. Supervisors? Before we begin, we'd like to remind you that the caucus would be of 5 minutes and that everything said in this caucus session will also be confidential and cannot be disclosed to the other party unless you expressly agree to do so. So feel free to express your individual interest and expectations from this mediation session. This is a completely safe space for you. And my co-mediator, would you like to add anything?
I think you pretty much summed up really well. I would like to get the ball rolling for client and counsel for party A.
So since I believe that before we started this caucus, there was a discussion with respect to numbers. I'll just quickly clarify the same with y'all as well, and then I'll ask my client to just take the lead with respect to why we believe this would be great. So one of the major reasons why we personally prefer to get raw materials from the state of Fredonia is because it would substantially reduce the cost of the wall in entirety. Now we understand that labor is something that's extremely important for them, but equally important is the cost of the raw material because that determines the base price of the entire wall. So we were just hoping to maybe even if they don't necessarily want to contribute to the entirety of the raw material, if they were willing to hear some numbers with respect to a little bit of contribution to this, we would be more than glad. And of course, we understand that labor employment is important for them. We're willing to accommodate as much labor contribution from their side because as my client, I believe, pointed out initially also, the industries that we want to establish through the technology for the wall is something that will inevitably employ labor in their country. Would you like to add something, Mr. Harris, at this stage?
Yes, thank you so much, Council. So what I believe, and something that has been discussed, and I do not say this in a negative sense, is that what the state of Fredonia possesses is the rich minerals, and I've rightly time and again mentioned it. But with respect to financial resources, I believe that they are a little apprehensive, right? So what we are asking them is not to bear the material cost in terms of like the monetary amount that is involved, but in terms of kind with respect to the minerals that they are going to provide us of this partnership. What we are willing to propose in that regard is that we are willing to bear the technological cost with respect to one, the building of the wall that will be involved in that, and second, in the technological investment that we will do in the industries that we are going to set up that will help them to mine those minerals. So while the labor part of things will be taken care of at that point, this is something that we are willing to do. I think that I'm losing some things in translation. Ms. Council, could you take it for me for here?
Yeah, sure. So we would be willing to hear from them, how much percentage contribution they would like to make to, material, because that's something we're particularly keen on to ensure that, costs reduce. We're ready to ensure that they're able to contribute the maximum labor, and we're ready to bear full responsibility for the 10% security technology costs, apologies, that is there. Because as my client pointed out, industries are something that's over and above the cost of the wall, and we're ready to bear it without actually valuing it within this figure that we're telling you. So, Madam Mediators, does that clarify to you a little bit, or is there something that I could tell you a little more about?
Just to summarize so that we are on the same page, you just said that the material cost for building the cost of wall is something that you are willing to negotiate with the party B. You're also willing to accommodate labor to the maximum extent possible, and you're willing to bear the entirety of technological cost. Thank you for setting that out really well.
But Madam Mediator, apologies to interrupt you. Just one addition that I wanted to make: this technology cost is not just the 10% that I want to include within these figures, but there's an additional, the factories that my client wishes to build for the mining exploration is something that we don't want to consider as part of the cost of the wall, because we want that to be a long-term trust building and collaborative venture. So we would like if the other party could see that that is a cost that we're willing to bear, that we've not even actually evaluated in this cost. So we would hope that they could be a little receptive to our concerns in this regard.
I'll keep a note of that. I would just want to ask that in a moment or so, we'll be having a private caucus with the other party. So are you comfortable with us sharing this information with the other party, or you want to remain it as a confidential? What's your preference on this?
I think yes, we will be willing to be not disclosing the specific numbers, but that we are open to negotiation with respect to that and be accommodative is something that we want you to expressly mention to them, and we want you to expressly tell them the part that we are not valuing the industries in the overall cost that we're proposing, and that is why we seek to propose this is a long-term collaborative initiative, and we would be open to negotiations with respect to the material and labor cost.
I think that's about it. Thank you for confiding in us, and now in a moment we'll be having a private caucus with the other party.
We kindly request you to stay in the waiting room for a while.
Thank you for your time, Madam Mediators.
Organizers, can we have the other party, please?
Thank you. I think everyone's here, or we do not have the council for party B. Thank you for waiting patiently. So before we start with this process, I would like to remind you that this caucus will be of 5 minutes, and anything you say in the session will be kept confidential to the party and us unless you give us express permission to do so. So would you like to have the ball rolling, Mediator 1?
Definitely. I'd just like to ask parties if they have any best possible alternatives that the country can offer so as to negotiate on the terms of the fund allocation that can probably lead us to a solution that is mutually beneficial and also fuels the requirement of the construction of the wall for the other party.
Yes. So thank you. First, I would like to begin by saying that we understand their concerns about building the wall and the fact that it is an expensive affair. But as I myself and my client have mentioned several times in this joint session before, that we are an underdeveloped country. Our economy is in a deplorable state. Therefore, we do believe that what they're putting on the table is a little, they expect a little too much from us, in the sense that I still don't have a clear idea as to whether we are providing 90% of the contribution to the fund, or I really don't understand how this division is happening. Secondly, we will, I think, be open to discussion. We will be open to discussion about providing them with a certain percentage of raw materials and a certain percentage of labor only if they agree to back us financially at the Global Bank of Development, which will in turn provide us with a financial aid, which is so imperative for our country during such time. My counsel would now take over. Thank you.
To add on to what has been mentioned, we believe that Atlantis is a financially thriving nation, and they have a lot of resources and technology that we do not. And through this alliance and collaborative effort, both the parties could mutually benefit and mend their broken relationship, which we're here to do. Now, Atlantis, as has come to our notice, is the founding member of the Global Bank for Development and also the chairperson. Therefore, they do have a pull over there and a large say in lending financial aid. Further, since they are an economically developed nation, they are financially capable of lending money to underdeveloped countries at nominal interest rates, which we would be really interested in considering the state of our economy. Therefore, what they're suggesting and asking for us to do, that is provide certain compensation in terms of labor and minerals and material costs, that would be acceptable to us only and only if they provide us with financial support, because that is of utmost importance to us right now. It would be really foolish on our part if we go ahead and contribute to the funds for building this wall and not look after our own economy back home, because people are suffering, they are dying, there are deaths every day, there are diseases, and there's unemployment and so many other problems. And yet, in the midst of all that, if we were considerable enough and generous enough to come to this mediation session and negotiate with them and be generous to even withdraw our threat, I think that is something that they should definitely consider and negotiate with us about. Therefore, what we would like for you to convey to the other party is that, or we could bring it up, is that financial support is of utmost importance to us. Thank you.
So from what I'm hearing is the financial aid from the Global Bank of Development is something that is a contingency for the fund allocation of the construction of the wall. Is this a correct summary of the caucus, Party B?
Absolutely, Madam Mediator.
And you would like to disclose this information yourself to the other party in the joint conference that precedes this caucus, right?
Yeah, we would be more than willing to do that.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So that's it for the individual interest that you would like to share with us privately?
Yes, that is pretty much it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Organizers, I'll kindly request you to add Party A to the conference.
Thank you for being patient while waiting, Party A. Now, if I may just open the ground of discussion for both the parties to come forward and as to keep on the table what they're expecting and what they're willing to do.
Right. So to go ahead with the interests of Freedonia in mind, what we spoke about with the mediators was that we're aware of the fact that Atlantis is a superpower and economically developed state which can assist underdeveloped nations and provide them with financial aid. And we also do know that you are Atlantis is the chairperson and president of the Global Bank for Development. Therefore, we believe that it would be in our interest if you could lobby for us and provide certain financial assistance to us, which could help in reviving our economy. And then we could go ahead and provide labor and the material costs that were kindly requested by Atlantis. Therefore, what we're essentially trying to say is that we're up for contributing to the fund for building of the wall. However, it is contingent on financial support which can be provided by Atlantis. Therefore, I would really like to know the party A's opinions on the same.
Council, thank you very much for opening the floor after this caucus. I mean, I believe that both of us might have had extremely good sessions since we've come off to a great start and cleared the air around us. Council, just a small clarification. We do not view you as a country underdeveloped or in need of dire aid. We view you as a strategic ally, and we view you as someone who we believe is goals in the future. So I just had one small clarification with respect to the financial aid. If you could help me with whether you have any amount in mind, A, and B, with respect to the whether when do you need this? Because since we're considering construction of this wall, the minute we formalize these modalities, we would want to know if you require both simultaneously or no. So it could help us understand, where your breakups of cost might subsequently come from. If my client has anything to add at this stage, otherwise, Council, please, if you could address our clarification.
There's also one more thing that I'd want to say, and I do not say this again in a negative light. What I heard from the council and the client for the other side is that while we are a superpower and we are economically very developed and they're underdeveloped, while my council has succinctly mentioned that that's not how we look at you as, we also here don't want to exert a position as a superpower. What we want you is to be with us as an ally. And that's what we're aiming to trying to achieve. While I understand, and I am so glad that our minds meet on that, because financial aid was something that even came to my mind as joint representation at an international fora, like I previously mentioned, is very important. So it's important for both of us to back each other and represent a joint stance in front of the world rather than being involved in some sort of bicker and blame game. And why we're not getting there, and that's an amazing and an extremely positive thing. This is what I wanted to clarify, just for the table to be set on a positive note. So I would be open to hearing from you with respect to the questions posed by my council.
Thank you so much, client party A, for saying that, because we do believe in backing each other up when we're in need of help, which is why we come to you asking you to back us up at the Global Bank of Development and assist us in this financial receiving this financial aid, which is of utmost importance. And I thank you for saying that you don't look at us as an underdeveloped nation. I appreciate that comment, but unfortunately, it is a harsh reality that we are, so as to say, an underdeveloped nation, which is why this, circling back to the main issue, that financial aid is extremely important to us. And thank you for saying that we need to back each other up, because this is one situation where we absolutely need your help. My council will now add to my.
As my client has rightfully mentioned, we're really appreciative of the fact that you view us as equals and as partners in this alliance, and have been reiterating the same. It really means the world to us that you do not view us as someone who's economically backward. However, the ground reality is that, and we're here to remedy the same, and at the same time benefit from each other's expertise and strong points. So to answer your questions regarding the numbers of the loan, that figure could be very flexible. And although I would not mind in placing a figure on the table, what we're willing to hear at this point is your estimates of how much money would be involved in building the wall, so that based on that we could come up with a reasonable estimate, because we understand that while you are a superpower, there are other areas which demand your attention and where you would like to invest, and this may necessarily not be lucrative for you. Therefore, if we could get some clarity on the costs, we could then my party could propose certain costs which we believe in terms of the loan or the servicing period and so on.
Thank you very much, Council. You did answer my questions. I just had one quick follow-up before I move on to addressing your query with respect to the breakup. Could you just tell us a little bit more about the purpose of your loan? Because why I ask you this is because just in case you require it for some sort of development that we are in a position to offer you, we'd be happy to do that. As my client already mentioned to you, she would be willing to open industries. So that's something that we would like to know just before we set the tone, to talk numbers.
Right. Thank you so much. And while we are appreciative of the fact that that your party suggested setting up industries and infrastructurally developing our nation, which is really essential at this point. However, what we're looking at is eradication of poverty, hunger, unemployment. If not eradication, since that is an extreme word to use, at least mitigation to certain extent. So that is something that we require loans for urgently. And once we move past that problem, we could look at technological advancements, because we believe that at the end of the day, if people do not have food in their stomach before going to sleep, then what good is any infrastructural or industrial development?
Thank you very much for that. Oh, I'm extremely sorry to interrupt you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Adding to what my counsel said, although we thank you for coming up with this solution of investing in infrastructure and development in our country, I do believe we are a population of 300 million. So as much as you would want to, and you're forthcoming about investing in infrastructure and development in our country, I do believe that without a financial aid, there is very little that we can do about it.
Thank you for that clarification to you as well as your counsel. And let's try, I understand you believe it's a harsh reality. Let's look at it as positively as possible. So we would be, I think my client would be in a better position to address as to whether she is in principle okay with, backing your idea for a financial loan. But let me just get back to your counsel's question with respect to the breakup so that, it doesn't get lost in conversation. So from what I have, a preliminary calculation reveals that $100 million US is the cost of the wall as of today, considering all the prices in the pre-COVID era. So when we mentioned 50%, 40%, 10% as numbers, we meant them as 50 million, 40 million, and 10 million. Counsel, am I able to answer your question, or is there anything else that you'd like to know as well? You're on mute, Counsel.
I believe Counsel.
I'm so sorry about that. Thank you so much for coming up with that figure and being so forthcoming about it. I believe that pretty much answers my question. However, you did mention that these figures were in the pre-COVID era. So right now, considering the fact that this pandemic has changed everything and the world is suffering at large. So do you think there could be any substantial changes in these costs?
Right. So I would like to take it from here. What I'm hearing from you is that you need some financial aid. And while I do not want to view it as a financial aid that you need, quote unquote, this is something that is the need of the hour, right? And why I think that this is important and what we can do is, since you want us to back you up in respect of that, since we have a good representation in the Global Bank of Development, I can start talking numbers and involving them with respect to any sort of extra other added benefits that they can provide you with respect to, say, the amount of loan and the amount of interest. While I can't guarantee anything to you with respect to the numbers and the specific amounts on which they will agree on, however, we can start talks with them as a joint representation that we would be posing to them for you. While that being said, and I want you to also understand that while you feel that infrastructurally this is something that is not helping you at the moment, and while you're receptive to the idea of the industrial investment that we're going to make, what I also understand from you is that you're aiming to mitigate the things like hunger, poverty, etc. So when I say that we want to invest in industries, what I want to tell you, and I'll take a brief minute to let you go through it with me. So what we believe that these industries are going to help you in a long-term way. Why I say this is because we are not just going to employ the people in your country and the workforce of your country for just the building of the wall, because that's a very short-term sight and we are here to look for a collaborative solution. However, it is also going to take the employment the people providing the employment and the labor in a long-term way, right? And how we propose to do that is that we can invest and create a lot of employment. When employment gets created, and this is a very economic argument, and I hope you would be online with me, is that it will help you create employment, and then employment is in turn going to provide people with the kind of money that they need to fill their hunger, to let go of their poverty and to see a brighter future. And I think that is why the infrastructure is very important. So while we can provide a joint representation to the Global Bank of Development and start talks with them, we would also like you to consider this just as a gesture of goodwill if you're comfortable with it.
Thank you so much for saying that, client for Party A. I'm going to take the stage and say that, yes, we will be open to discussing Atlantis investing in industries in Fredonia. And that is purely because of because of how forthcoming you've been in this session and agreeing to back us up at the Global Bank of Development, which you have understood and acknowledged is a very, very, very crucial, I think, issue for us. Therefore, I think we do agree that we need long-term support, which your country is ready to provide in terms of investing in industries. I think the financial aid will be a more prompt way of mitigating these problems that our country is facing. Therefore, now that you have so explicitly mentioned that you will be ready to back us up at the Global Bank of Development, I think it is only right that I also floor for discussion of the investment in industries that Atlantis can make in Fredonia. If my council has anything else
Thank you
to add.
very much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
I'm so sorry. So to add on to that, we're elated that you would be discussing, financial aid with other countries who are a part of the GBD, and you would be considering this opportunity, and that is a very positive move, and we really appreciate that. And your talks about investing in our country. However, we would like to highlight the fact that owing to the current situation in our country, which is literally a civil strife, and right now what we're going through is almost a war-like situation. So it is very unsafe. As a representative of my own country, it is disheartening for me to state this, but it is very unsafe right now to even think about investing in our country at this point in time when it comes to infrastructure. So basically right now what we're looking for is to end the war and to end this hostile relation that citizens of our country share amongst one another. And to do that, the primary thing to do would be to eradicate hunger, unemployment, poverty, and so on. And once that is done with the help of financial backing, we could move ahead with you investing in our nation and helping it prosper, and we develop and both of our countries, taking this alliance forward.
Thank you very much, Council. That was extremely helpful. Before we move on, just one thing that, Madam Mediators, I believe that we have reached an in-principle agreement with respect to the fact that we are willing to provide them joint representation at the Global Bank of Development. Is that something that you could please note down so that, that's something that we can be agreed upon in principle? Because I wanted to move on to this, that now we understand that, this is something that is extremely pressing to you. And now we would urge you to be receptive to the fact that what is pressing to us, as much as for you it is poverty, for us it is, of course, the refugees that are coming in. So if we could just draw your attention back to the discussion of the wall, and of course we understand your concerns with respect to the industries and are happy to answer them, but if we could just once again go back to the wall, could you tell us what, if any reservations exist, or any numbers that you have in mind with respect to how you'd like to still break up costs, because we'd be happy to discuss them at this stage.
Right. So we do believe in the numbers that you've come up with, although a little more clarity at a future date would really help, and proper breakup of the statistics could help us in gauging what it is exactly that you have in mind. However, as of now, the 20% tech cost that you have so willingly proposed to bear is something that is acceptable to us, obviously, and the 30% labor costs we are willing to take most of it up. And however, something that we are kind of skeptical about is the 50% material cost that you've come up with, because we believe that is the game-changing number, and that would determine whether it is us who are majorly contributing to this. While we understand that Freedonia views this as an alliance as well, and that it is 100% partnership. However, time and again, what we've been stating is that it would be an unfair burden for you to place on us regarding the construction of this wall. So if the material costs could be shared by both of us instead of just placing it on us, we would be really appreciative of that.
Thank you very much, Council. Just one quick clarification. In the breakup that I mentioned to you, the technology costs are 10%. 20% is a number that might be floating in your mind, considering the fact that we told you about the independent industries. However, that's completely different. And as you rightly mentioned, that's something that we can discuss at a later stage. With respect to material, yes, we understand that you have certain apprehensions. We'd be willing to hear a little more about where you come from and what exact problems there are, so that we can negotiate this particular number. So we did mention that we would like you to have 50% of cost with, raw material supply capacity, because of the fact that you're rich in raw material. But is there anything that you'd like to tell us about, what is the particular problem that, arises in this situation, so that, we can look at other numbers as well?
Right. Thank you very much. But before I answer that question, there's just a very quick clarification. I'm a bit unclear about the numbers, because you just stated that the technology cost which would be involved would be 10%. So I believe that these numbers should add up to 100. So what you suggested initially was 30% labor, 50% material. So that leaves us with 20%. And you stated that tech costs are only 10%. So we would like to know where the remaining 10% would go.
Happy to clarify, Council. Actually, the labor cost is 40%. So what we had proposed at that point of time was that you can, end up paying for you can account for 30% of the cost of labor, as in labor, and we can account for 10% of the labor from our country. So we were ready to bear that additional, we were ready to give you the leeway that we'll bear some of our labor costs, so that, we can ensure that the costs of the project are cut down in terms of material, because I'm sure you also understand how expensive material has gotten these days. So does that clarify your question, Council?
Yes, very much.
I'm sorry to intervene here, but I just want to understand the breakup of this of these numbers, in the sense that how the division of this is going to be. For example, how much is my country supposed to bear, and how much will y'all bear in building this wall? This is just one thing that I want clarification on.
All right, so I'll just go back quickly to what I mentioned earlier. In our original model, we mentioned that you would bear 50% material cost. Now, of course, you wouldn't pay that to us in money. So you would bear 50 million worth of cost in terms of the silica, the limestone that you end up producing, depending on whichever resources are necessary. You would end up paying for, you would end up supplying 30 million worth of labor. We would end up paying 10 million, investing 10 million worth of technology and putting in 10 million worth of labor. So that together creates a project cost of 100 million. Is that something that clarifies
yes,
client and council?
So if I understand rightly, we are investing 80 million, and Atlantis will invest 20 million in building this wall. Am I right?
Council, I believe, does my client have anything to add at this stage? Because I think when she initially thought of the proposal, it was the industries that she had in mind. But since we've decided that that's something we want to do at a later stage, would we all be amenable to, reopening this issue of numbers, since I think we're running short of time? Is that something that all of us are in agreement with? It would set a great tone for the next session, I believe. So
definitely. And we believe that material costs are something that could be really negotiated upon, because 80-20 is just a really unfair division. And we believe that material costs are something that could be cut down upon, and you could contribute more to it. And even in terms of labor, so that we can reach to a position, as you've been highlighting, that this is an equal partnership and you view us as equal. So we believe that while constructing the wall, we would like to be treated that way as well. So we could take this up at a future date for sure.
I guess we need to be mindful of the time right now and wrap it up. So from what I'm hearing is, not only have we finished the second part of the agenda with regarding to the Bay of Marmara, we've now moved on to the issue of the funding of the wall. So I think just to take a stock of what is happening, both the parties have agreed with respect to the initiation of talks for aid by the Global Bank of Development and initiation of industry by the state of Atlantis into the state of Fredonia. Also understanding that both the parties have some queries regarding the breakup of the material cost, I think we can take that up in a future mediation session. Would this be a fair summary of today's proceedings?
Yes. Thank you so much, Madam Mediator.
Would
Yes,
my
I believe
co-mediator
so
like
as
to
well.
add anything?
Yes, I think I occur with everything my co-mediator just said. This has been really a productive meeting, and just to clarify, in the future mediation session, we would be negotiating on the material cost which would be incurred by both the countries. As to summarize again of what has been discussed today, Party B is willing to withdraw the threat for Bay of Marmara, and they're willing to let you continue the operations at that. I also hear that Party A has rightly agreed as to joint representation at Global Bank of Development for Party B. If that will make a fair summary of today's session.
Yes, Madam Mediator, just one small addition. We also offered that in addition to the joint representation, we're willing to actually work out investing into industries in the long term, and Party B agreed to consider our proposal against the wall costs in the next session. So if you could please add that as well.
Actually, my co-mediator already, I think, put forth that, so I didn't want to waste time because there's actually a paucity of time. So if the counsels for both the party and the clients for both the party would like to give any closing remarks.
Thank you so much, learned mediators, for handing over the floor to me. So what I'm hearing is that, costs is something with respect to building the wall is something that we want to take up later in the future. And I'm hearing an apprehension from the side of the other party and the representatives of Fredonia that they want an equal representation and an equal partnership. Well, we are completely amenable to discussing and negotiating with respect to the material cost as a gesture of goodwill, and also as a gesture that we recognize how important their relationship and this partnership is to us. We do not want to place you at an unfair position, and we want to grant you an equal partnership and an equal advantage where we can see towards the future. While I believe that there were certain hostilities that were going around before we entered this mediation, this discussion has been extremely and completely fruitful and has reaffirmed our belief in the fact that we place the dispute before we place the importance of solving the dispute before we place the importance of hostilities and discussing and pinning the blame onto each other. So I want to be thankful to all the parties present in the room and the learned mediators for guiding us every step of the way, for ensuring such a fruitful mediation session. Over to my counsel.
Thank you so much for so succinctly, summarizing the spirit of today's mediation session. I'll quickly summarize it because that'll just help us to assure that we're all on the same page and we start with a bang in the next session. We've discussed, of course, in principle, we've come to two agreements, one with respect to the joint representation before the Global Bank and one with respect to the withdrawal of this, closure of the Bay of Marmara. We are in principle in agreement with the fact that the wall is something that needs to be built and costs are something that can be bifurcated amongst the two of us strategically. A few numbers have been floated around, and we sense that while we wish to cover the cost with respect to a long-term industry investment, what Party B is looking for more is in terms of its current poverty extinguishing phases. So what we can do is I'll draw up some mathematical valuations and send them across to you, council, so that you have some idea where we're coming from before the next session, and we can start on a bang. We can all start on the same page, and we would once again like to thank you for coming to this mediation session. Stay home, stay safe, and we look forward to meeting you very soon. Thank you to the mediators as well for a great session.
Thank you so much, Party A. We really appreciate everything that you've said in the mediation session because you've been so open to whatever has been placed on the table, and you have yourself come up with such creative solutions, and you do acknowledge our state of affairs. So that is something that we're elated to hear. Now, I would also like to thank the mediators for being so impartial and facilitating this process so well. We understand how difficult it is to remain neutral throughout, and we think that you did an extremely brilliant job at the same. Now, just to quickly summarize what we believe happened during the session, we agreed in principle to certain things. Right at the outset, Fredonia very generously offered to withdraw the threats at the Bay of Marmara because we believe that Atlantis really could economically benefit from the same, and we believe in helping them prosper because, as has been stated, this is a joint alliance and we believe in collaboration, not litigation. Further, we're really glad that Atlantis has agreed to jointly represent us at the Global Bank for Development and lobby around so that we can gain some financial support from developed nations and help in, and we could eradicate some of the problems we're facing back home. Further, we understand how essential building the wall is for Atlantis and how it is a pressing issue, and we do get what you're saying and where you're coming from. Therefore, it is something that we did consider throughout this discussion. However, the numbers are something that we're a bit skeptical about. Therefore, as has been stated, we would be more than willing to take these numbers up at a future date. Further, we really appreciate how you were willing to invest in our infrastructure because we believe that this is just one of the many steps going forward. And we believe that we could go back to our relations which we've had in the past and mend our severed ties. Over to my client.
Firstly, I would like to thank the president of Atlantis for being so engaging throughout the session and being so forthcoming about restoring our relationship that we previously had with Atlantis. Next, I would like to express my gratitude to the mediators who have so skillfully completed their task. Finally, I would like to say that I'm extremely satisfied with how this mediation session has progressed, in the sense that we both parties have agreed upon a couple of issues that were pressing for both nations. Lastly, I look forward to the next session where we can dig deeper and create solutions that are mutually agreeable to both nations. Thank you so much.
I think I'd also like to congratulate both the parties for the progress that they've made so far. My co-mediator and I really believe that international courts can tell you who is right and who is wrong, but only mediation can help you determine how to work through your differences amidst diplomacy, practicality, and commercial viability. And that's been really positive here. Thank you so much for coming here. We hope you all have a wonderful day ahead.
Okay, thank you, participants. With this, we come to an end to the competition, and I would like to invite Mansi to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Harshita. But before than that, I would like to ask Indivijan sir if they have any judging remarks on the participants.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mansi and Harshita. It was really an interesting session, what I had, hearing from all young minds. It was one very interesting thing I could see that all, whether the party or the council or the mediator, had always a positive note to settle. That's a good thing. The only thing is that in real-time situation, there are a lot of factors. There are a lot of factors, the risk factors also in the perspective of the client or the party when taking any decisions. I feel that that has not been discussed much when the deliberations happen. Secondly, the role of mediators. The mediators both the mediators, I felt that you have to get involved a little more, because whether you're going to take the facilitator one or the evaluator one, you have to decide. And while deciding, when you're going to start this session, the initial opening statements, there should be a lot of clarity on how the process is going to happen, with a lot of time frames also. Anyway, since it's been the new normal of having the virtual platform, we had a lot of difficulties. But as a mediator, both the mediators have to be a little more proactive, so that you have to facilitate. Evaluation is fine. That has to be done in the last. But initially, you have to facilitate so that the platform would be eventually seen. But what happened here is that, unfortunately, both the councils took that. Both the councils are too proactive, so that even the parties couldn't even share anything. There was no clear instruction. I think all the instructions has been given well before the mediation sessions. It's good. The party has given a full freedom to the councils, and they have entirely dominated this process. Mediation should be balanced. The party's role as well as the council. The council would be just what you can say, like a bridge between the parties and the other parties. But normally their role should be very minimal. Here I find that it's good. You are all budding lawyers. You are very, very capable to manage all these things. But I could look into that. A lot of predeterminations are there within the mind of both the councils. That should be minimized. It has to evolve from the client or the party. These are some, not negatives. These are some areas where you have to try to improve in your future mediation competitions or in your real-time mediation. And with this words, I congratulate all. It was really very interesting the way not even a second was missed by both the parties, both the councils as well as the mediators. Whatever opportunity you got, excellently you did. And the good thing is that the perspective of competition, you people were very, very particular on the time, and within the reasonable time you have completed. That's good. It is really, I have to appreciate. The first time I'm seeing such a competition, that too a virtual competition, completing within that time. Very good. It's a really good cooperation from all. Fortunately, I think there is no boys here. It's entirely the girl team. That has facilitated. One boy would spoil the other way, one girl would spoil. But it's good. Enjoy yourself, be safe, and whatever results come, take it sportive. Okay, you have done your role effectively. Congrats.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, participants. Now I proceed with the vote of thanks. I, Mansi, on the behalf of Law Internship, extend a hearty gratitude to Mr. Indivijan, sir, who honored us with an enlightening session by being a judge of the National Virtual Mediation Competition 2020 and took out time in his midst of his busy schedule. I also mention our deep sense of appreciation to all the participants who actively participated today. Hope the round was a great learning experience for all of you. And thank you. Have a good day. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.